Live, local, trusted, #1 at 6, WKYT News.
And it was like the devil himself. And I'm not just shooting words out there.
Tonight, for the first time, we're hearing from the pastor who survived a gunman's attack on his Lexington church. Only WKYT was there as Pastor Jerry Gum left Cardinal Hill after a long road to recovery. Good evening. I'm Bill Bryant.
And I'm Amber Philpott. The Richmond Road Baptist Church pastor is a survivor. His story, though, is heartbreaking. He was shot multiple times when a gunman entered his church on Sunday, July 13th. His wife and daughter were tragically killed.
Photojournalist Darnell Crenshaw was there this morning as he went home for the first time since that frightful day. And that is our top story at 6.
Pastor Jerry D. Gum is finally going home after several surgeries, rehabilitation, and more than a month of medical care.
And you have proved to be nothing less than amazing, and we are so proud of you.
Before leaving, Pastor Gum recounted that tragic day.
And I ran in to evil itself. This man had already done his evil back behind me and terrorized my church.
A gunman opened fire at his church,
murdered my wife and my daughter, and then he badly injures my son-in-law, and I'm on my power chair. He ambushed me, 81-year-old man, unarmed, crippled, on a power chair, and he began shooting. He began taunting me, cursing me, laughing at me. He shot me off of my power chair. It was either on my head or up on my head, and tried to kill me, but he didn't manage it. He wasn't as bad as he thought he was.
One of the bullets even hit his tongue.
It was in 2 big pieces. They said it was hanging out of my mouth in the dirt.
Scripture says there is power in the tongue, but it didn't mean it this way.
The doctor said if that tongue hadn't caught that bullet, it would have gone in my head and it would have killed me. God and those miracle workers gave me my tongue back.
While he's thankful he can speak, grief fills his heart.
But I was at least that long finding out that my dear wife was dead and my daughter. I still grieve. That's not depression, that's grief.
After being in a coma for days, he learned his wife, Beverly, and daughter, Christina Combs, died.
Christina Combs. She was 2 months away from graduating from RN school. About my dear wife, she was a wonderful woman. We worked in the Lord's work together.
Now the 81-year-old is going home with scars, both emotional and physical.
This is shrapnel wound. Anybody that's been in war know what shrapnel wounds are.
Show us what you got. You want to show off a little bit? Ooh.
As he gets into a van, there's a Bible on the dashboard. It belonged to his wife, a reminder of the love he had and still has today. And we are so grateful that he shared his story with us. Police shot and killed the gunman, Guy House. They say he went to that church looking for an ex, but she wasn't there. Pastor Gum will be at church this Sunday, and he will preach his first sermon since that shooting next Sunday.
Well, now to some breaking news in the budget woes for Fayette County Public Schools. In the last half hour, we've learned that new steps the district will be taking because of an expected budget shortfall. Our Kelsey Soto is following this breaking story and joins us now. Kelsey?
Well, that shortfall is at the tune of $16 million. And this week we learned dipping into a contingency fund isn't an option because it's much lower than previously estimated. Now, here's what Superintendent Dr. Demetrius Liggins revealed. Effective immediately, he will reassign the financial, accounting, budget, and benefits services departments to report directly to him. A mandatory hold on filling any district office vacancies. They're going to limit out-of-state or overnight professional development travel. They will pause pause all unnecessary unless they are directly related to health or safety needs, and that is regarding any construction projects. They're also going to hire retirees only for substitute teaching roles, and he's also launching an internal review of both current and past financial procedures. Now, the Education Board meeting is this coming Monday at 6 o'clock. The budget is already planned to be discussed. Bill?
All right, Kelsey, thank you. We wanted to move that quickly to people, and we'll, of course, look through it more and get you more details. Now let's turn to our forecast, and the work week is wrapping up. Soggy here and there, certainly loud at times and hot.
Yeah, and those steamy storms could follow us right through our weekend. Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey joining us with that weekend weather breakdown.
Yeah, that's pretty much it in a nutshell. We're going to see these thermometers that'll hit 90 or better over the next few, but those thunderstorms are still lurking. We've got a few of those showing up right now into the Lexington Metro. One from our WKYT tower cam as we're looking toward that southwestern sky toward Harrodsburg, where some booming thunderstorms are currently in progress, and they're putting down a ton of rain in a short amount of time. They're loaded with heavy rain and lightning. Lexington, we had a thunderstorm earlier this afternoon on the east side of town. What is out there now is diminishing after putting down some heavy rains out on the west end, and this stuff across central Kentucky and the Bluegrass region will begin to diminish as we lose the heating of the day. Right now, Nicholasville, just to your west, that's where the heaviest rains are located. Take a little trip into Harrodsburg. This is a thunderstorm that is really growing right now. Bergen, Harrodsburg, along and east of 127. It is raining to beat the band. You're going to get some quick rises on those creeks and streams. A lot of cloud to ground lightning as well. Don't take that for granted. Anytime you hear thunder, folks, get inside. That's heading toward the Bryansville area of northern parts of Garrett County. A shower right on top of Perryville. Some other thunderstorms trying to go up here, southeastern parts of Marion County. That'll creep into Casey County shortly. Sprinkle or a light shower around Lake Cumberland. Boundary is out there to our south. The heat, though, is going to continue to build in until we can get a cold front in here. First one may impact us as early as late Sunday, Monday with a couple of thunderstorms. Speaking of tomorrow, guys, I think we're going to start dry, but as we heat it up, we'll watch for a few of those thunderstorms to go up as well. We'll take a look into the 10-day and a big change lurking in about 10 minutes.
We will see you then, Chris. Thank you. A former police officer is suing the City of London and Mayor Randall Weddle. Former London police officer Jared Hale filed the lawsuit Thursday. Hale claims he was harassed because of his religious beliefs. The suit also says Hale was questioned for his involvement in the police shooting death of Doug Harless in December of last year. Despite the lawsuit saying Hale was not among the officers trying to execute the warrant on Harless's home, Hale is seeking damages for defamation, false light harassment, free speech, association, and retaliation. You can read that full lawsuit on our website. A judge will consider several motions in a high-profile Eastern Kentucky murder case involving a former sheriff accused of murder.
That crime happened nearly a year ago in Letcher County. Sean Mickey Steins is accused of killing Judge Kevin Mullins. WKYT's Phil Pendleton has more on what Steins' attorneys would like to see happen in the case.
Sean Mickey Steins walked into the same courtroom he likely worked in many times before, the same courthouse where he's accused of gunning down a judge. He's currently ordered to stay in jail under no bond, but it's his work as a lawman that his attorneys say is part of the reason he should receive a bond.
This is a man with a great respect for the law, and he's built his life around upholding the law and serving his community.
Prosecutors say case law shows why certain suspects should be kept in jail.
The Supreme Court said if you are charged with a capital offense, you are not entitled to bail. And they overturned a certain judge and sent it back to no bail.
Steins' attorney is asking for a bond of about $50,000 cash or property. They're also asking for the indictment to be thrown out, grand jury to rehear the case, citing problems in transcripts, lack of recordings, and questions dealing with Steins' sanity.
We've been confident in Mr. Steins' case from the outset, and we are even more confident today than we were from the outset, for sure.
Video evidence already submitted shows Steins clearly shooting Judge Mullins, but the circumstances surrounding the violence are still up for debate.
You know, Mr. Steins is resilient. The people of Eastern Kentucky, we are resilient, and he's going to get through this, and we're going to get through this.
The judge said that he would give both sides until September 2nd to issue any supplemental items along with the motions that were filed. He said he would make an expedited ruling at that point. After that, it's likely that he could possibly set the next court date, maybe even a trial date. In Letcher County, Phil Pendleton, WKYT.
And Commonwealth's attorney Jackie Steele, the special prosecutor named in the case, declined to comment after today's hearing. Well, it has been nearly 6 weeks since a person died and 11 others were hospitalized from a gas leak at a Lexington apartment complex.
WKYT's Samantha Valentino has been following this story since it happened. She was the first to reveal the cause of that leak, and now she's learned the property owners are facing a record-breaking fine from the city, and a council member is working to ensure something like this doesn't happen again. It is tonight's WKYT Investigates.
I woke up hearing somebody beating at my door.
On July 7th, fire crews were called to the Oxford Circle apartments for someone struggling to breathe. They found a gas leak and quickly evacuated the complex.
Seen them bringing people out on stretchers.
11 people were hospitalized and one person, Samuel Lee Gross, was killed. An inspection report revealed the cause of the deadly gas leak, this improper working boiler system. The building was condemned, but property owners had a chance to lift the condemnation if they fixed the boiler system and several other issues within 3 weeks. The problems weren't fixed. Code enforcement issued this citation to the property owners for ongoing noncompliance. It comes with a fine of more than $10,000. The city says it's the largest fine they've issued in more than 2 decades. The owners now have until September 10th to repair their 35 violations. If they don't, they'll face additional penalties ranging from $100 to $2,500.
We really did, as a city, try to hold this landlord accountable for negligence.
The complex didn't have any carbon monoxide detectors. State law only requires them in buildings built before 2011. The Oxford Circle apartments were built in 1965. Now, Councilmember Reynolds is taking steps to prevent a tragedy like this from ever happening in Lexington again.
I started talking to the fire marshal, and we decided that it would be a positive thing to see if we can update that law and see if maybe we can require it for any unit that does have a utility with gas.
Once council returned from summer recess, Reynolds placed into committee a review of requirements for carbon monoxide detectors in Lexington rental units.
We're saying this is a huge deal. This cannot happen again.
The next step is to present the issue to committee. From there, it could eventually go to the full council for a vote. In Lexington, Samantha Valentino, WKYT.
The review of requirements for carbon monoxide detectors in rental units was submitted to the Social Services and Public Safety Committee. Councilmember Reynolds says they only have 2 meetings left this year, and those agendas are full. That means this issue likely won't be presented until early next year. We are just 1 week out from the grand opening of Lexington's newest park. Gatton Park on the town branch sits on Manchester Street right behind Rupp Arena at Central Bank Center. It opens to the public at noon on August 23rd. There are a ton of events planned for the grand opening, including live music and dance, food, vendors, and of course, a ribbon cutting. Gates to the Spendthrift Farm Great Lawn open at 11:30 Saturday morning with a ribbon cutting ceremony at noon. The park officially opens to the public after that ceremony. You can learn more on WKYT.com.
Showers and booming thunderstorms out there into parts of the region to kick off the weekend. It's a weekend that's going to be a hot one. We know, typical August heat, but some thunderstorms are going to try and crash in as well. We'll time those out with the extended hour by hour in just a moment.
Welcome back to WKYT News here on your Friday. Vendors are all set up at Lexington's Woodland Park for the 49th annual Woodland Arts Fair, one of Central Kentucky's biggest free cultural events.
Yeah, upwards of 70,000 people are expected to attend throughout the 2 days. And new at 6, WKYT's Mariah Congito has the story of one artist whose colorful work will be set up for sale.
200 of the nation's finest artists will take over Woodland Park this weekend, and I got to speak with one of them. She was actually the Derby artist in 2022.
But I didn't start painting until about 8 years ago.
It's hard to believe, right?
I've always been drawn to creating ever since I was in elementary school.
That creativity now shown years later and through dozens of watercolor paintings with vibrant, saturated color.
Most of them are bourbon and horse themed. Some of them are of the world.
It didn't take long for Amy Griffith's art to get noticed.
It was a whirlwind of an experience.
In 2022, Griffith was named the artist for one of the most prestigious horse races in the world.
It was the first time I got to go to the Derby in the Oaks.
And the first time she got to see her art on display at Churchill Downs and in the programs thousands of people were flipping through.
I don't even know if I was ready for it. It just kind of like thrusted me in, and I've had to kind of figure it out along the way.
But something Griffith is certain she's ready for is her 6th year selling art at the Woodland Art Fair.
It's an inspiring place. If you like art, there's so many creative people that bring what they specialize in.
Griffith says she'll be selling original paintings, note cards, and some new prints.
I've been asked before by some friends to do some UK stuff, and I just thought it was so fun.
Tomorrow it's from 10 to 6 and on Sunday 10 to 5. For more information, you can find it in this story on the WKYT News app. In Lexington, Mariah Conjito, WKYT.
And members of our WKYT team will have a booth that's set up at the art fair this weekend. Stop by, see us from 9 to 6 tomorrow and 10 to 6 Sunday.
Now, WKYT First Alert Weather with Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey.
Happy Friday, everybody. Welcome to the weekend. We have made it here. It's sometimes it's a bigger accomplishment than others to make it to the weekend, right? Take a live look at Keeneland, where we had some torrential rains over the past hour and change. Track is super muddy right now. No running out here, but it gives us a good idea of what things are looking like on the west side of town. East side of town, we had a torrential downpour earlier this afternoon. Right now, we got a little shower that is fizzling on the south side. Saturday, your forecast, it's a normal hot August day. Lots of low 90s, partly sunny. A couple of thunderstorms will go up as the afternoon and evening hours wear on. First Alert Radar Network into the Bluegrass region. These showers and thunderstorms have been noisy. They're full of torrential rain. What is left in Lexington right now, maybe a sprinkle or two on the south side. You get to Nicholasville, a little light rain. This thunderstorm, though, putting down much heavier rain on the Wilmore side of Jessamine County over into 127 here, up and down parts of Mercer County, and now getting just to the east of Harrodsburg toward Bryansville, where the thunder is rumbling. Danville, it's not raining on us, but boy, we're getting in on surround sound with the thunder to the north and east, and then to the west on top of Perryville. That's a thunderstorm that is rolling to the east here into Boyle County. Another little thunderstorm going up north of Liberty into Casey County. Southern parts of Kentucky, what is out there is rather isolated in nature. Hot weather. It is on. Weekend forecast, low 90s tomorrow, Sunday. Isolated storm tomorrow with a couple of late day thunderstorms for the day on Sunday. I think some of those Sunday storms could be a little noisy late afternoon and evening. Hour by hour forecast. Tomorrow morning, some fog. Tomorrow afternoon, this is undercooked, no pun intended with those 90s, but I do think we'll see a few scattered thunderstorms out there. For your Sunday, this thing is too aggressive with a big complex of storms that goes back to the southwest of us. I think that's going to show up a little farther to the east into central and eastern Kentucky. Then we go into Monday, we'll hit the upper 80s already by 2 o'clock, likely some low 90s out there yet again. Same thing we were talking about yesterday is holding for next week. We get one front to make a run at us Sunday, Monday with just a storm or two. Still hot ahead of the next boundary that slides in Wednesday of next week with a much better brand of air coming in behind this for the second half of next week and into next weekend as the temperature trend goes way down. 80-ish toward the end of August. Oh, sign me up with that. How about a 59 for a low temperature? 10-day forecast, I think we get another front next weekend. Sandwiched in between, we're trying to get a good night for the kickoff of the high school football season on Friday night, 1 week from tonight.
And we need that good weather for the art fair, too.
We do. It's going to be a little steamy.
Stay hydrated if you go, for sure.
Have something to dab the sweat.
Have a mister.
Okay, thanks.
Well, Brian is back with sports.
And UK basketball and football on the way.
Yeah, make sure those watercolors don't run over at the art fair. Brad White is talking football defense and continuing to play the puzzle
of making all the pieces fit. Otega Owe is the main key to turn the Cats' tumbler, and Mark Pope sees a monster jump in Double O's defense. Hello, everybody. At this time last year, Otega Owe was not seen as one of the top transfers on Mark Pope's first Kentucky roster. By the end of the season, however, Double O had become one of the top players in the Southeastern Conference. After going through the NBA draft process, Owe is back and ready to elevate his game to another level, specifically on the defensive end. Mark Pope was a guest on the CBS College Basketball podcast this week and said Owe could be the most versatile defender in the country this season.
Otega Owe coming in the summer after he'd gone through the entire NBA process, after he'd had, one of a historic season as a player at Kentucky, which is hard to do, with no break, comes in there and he did things defensively this summer that I would walk out off the floor and be like, I don't even understand what I'm seeing on the court. It's a real credit to him.
Hello. The Boston Celtics have signed former Wildcat Amari Williams to a two-way contract. Williams, the 46th pick in the draft, averaging 6.3 points per game, 5 rebounds, 2 assists per outing in summer league play. The Nottingham, England native led Kentucky in rebounds, field goal percentage, tied for team honors in assists as the big man at UK last season. A couple of weeks into fall camp for UK football, and the coaches say they are beginning to see pieces fall into place. The defense returns a number of starters, but like any year, young guys must step up. Defensive coordinator Brad White was asked about his backside seven and says they're going through some growing pains.
Day by day, play by play. Sometimes it looks good and you feel good, and then there's some other plays you're like, wow, there's some younger guys back there, and they're going to have to learn through that mistake. And so you never know exactly what you have, until game day hits. Practice is one thing. We try to put them in as many adverse situations to really sort of create that humility and then to see how they respond to it.
And we will see how they respond against Toledo in a couple of weeks. That's sports. We'll be right back.
Welcome back, everybody. A look at tomorrow's weather today. It's a Saturday. We're 90-ish, low 90s, some upper 80s, scattered thunderstorm or two that'll go up into the afternoon. If you're up and at 'em early tomorrow morning, 70 with some locally dense fog. Those scattered thunderstorms are still booming out there across parts of the Bluegrass region, especially now down into parts of Boyle County, Mercer County. We'll keep an eye on those as the evening wears on.
I like the best part of that you could get with that is that tomorrow's Saturday.
That's it. Yeah. That's all I got.
That's the best
well, I like the part of the comfortable part of the day, 7 in the morning, so we get up early. Everybody, local news will continue shortly on the CW Lexington. We'll see you there and tonight at